The complete Grimm's fairy tales. The mouse, the bird, and the sausage. Once upon a time, a mouse, a bird, and a sausage became companions, kept house together, and lived well and happily in peace, and wonderfully increased their possessions. The birds worked to fly every day into the forest and bring back wood. The mouse had to carry water, light the fire, and lay the table. But the sausage had to cook. He he who is too well off, always longing for something new. One day the bird met another bird to whom it was related its excellent circumstances and boasted of them. The other bird, however, called it a poor simpleton for its hard work and said that the two at home had good times. For when the mouse had made her fire and carried in her water, she went into the little room to rest until they called her to the table. The sausage stayed by the post, saw that the food was cooking well, and when it was nearly time for supper, he rolled its it rolled itself once or twice through the broth and the vegetables, and then they were buttered and salted and ready. When the bird came home and laid down his burden, they sat down to dinner. After they had had their meal, they slept their fill till the next morning, and that was a splendid life. Next day, the bird, prompted by the other bird, would go no more into the wood, saying he had been a servant long enough and had now been made a fool by them, and that he must change about for once and try to arrange it another way. And though the mouse and the sausage also begged most earnestly, the bird would only have his way, and so it must be tried. They cast lots about, and the lot fell on the sausage who was to carry the wood. The mouse became the cook, and the bird was to fetch water. What happened? The little sausage went out toward the wood. The little bird lit the fire, and the mouse stayed by the pot and waited alone until the sausage should come home with and brought wood for the next day. But the little sausage stayed so long on the road that they feared something was amiss, and the bird flew out a little way in the air to meet it. Not far off, however, it had met a dog on the road and had fallen on the poor sausage as a lawful booty, and had seized it and swallowed it. The bird charged the dog with the act of barefaced robbery, but the words were useless, for the dog said he had found forged letters on the sausage, on which account its life was forfeited to him. The bird sadly took up to the wood, flew home, and related what he had seen and heard. They were much troubled, but agreed to do their best to remain together. The bird therefore laid the table, and the mouse made ready the food, and wanted to dress it, and to get into the pot as the sausage used to, and roll and creep amongst the vegetables and mix them. But before she got into the midst of them, she was stopped, lost her skin and her hair and her life in the attempt. When the bird came to carry in the dinner, no cook was there. In its distress, the bird threw the wood here and there and called and searched, but no cook was to be found. Owing to his carelessness, the wood caught fire, and so the conflagration broke out. The bird hastened to fetch the water, but the bucket dropped into the well, and he fell in with it, and could never recover himself, but had to drown therefore.